Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. This video is a quick presentation of the new features introduced in the latest version of JAPO. Starting from version 1.1, you can now view artifacts and annotations update history, subscribe to receive these updates by email, and also enjoy a more user-friendly JAPO webpage. My name is Mohamed. I am a Java developer and software architect. Putting together some years of experience in Java development led me to start two open source projects back in 2021. And then from October of 2023, I also started JAPO and put together a very small team of passionate Java developers. Now, before we start going through the new JAPO user interface along with the new features, let us take a moment to explore a brief history of Java annotations. Initially introduced as metadata instead of annotations, this new feature was introduced back in September of 2004 under version 5, also known at the time as Java 1.5. So when you think about it, it's been almost 2 decades now since annotations were first introduced in Java. And as Java developers, we also how these have become very successful tools in the Java world during all these years. We all remember how going from Spring Framework version 4 to version 5, XML configurations were largely replaced by annotations. This shift led to a great revolution in the Spring ecosystem, ultimately contributing to projects like Spring Boot. Jakarta Enterprise Edition, formerly known as Java Enterprise Edition, one of the competitors to Spring Framework, followed a similar path. Hibernate, one of the oldest Java libraries, also made this transition. And today, newer libraries such as Lombok or many others will only favor the use of annotations over XML or anything else. Despite the popularity of annotations and hundreds or even thousands of them being offered by several Java libraries, there has never been any sort of search engine dedicated to researching detailed information about Java annotations. We took that challenge and started JAPO. This is what JAPO webpage looks like at this moment. For those of you who had the chance to check the previous versions, you will recognize the stats list, which was up here before, and also the list of endpoints. But then we introduced a few new stuff such as a menu bar here where you can see we now have additional links such as videos, release note, and about. I will let you go through all that. And on the right side section here, you can see we now have a calendar, and on top of which you also have a subscription form. Now let's start with the calendar. As you can see, this is a traditional calendar. The only difference being that you will have some dots here. Right now you are seeing some blue dots at some specific dates. And there will be other cases where you will see also orange dots. So there will be either 1 or 2. Now, what does this mean actually? A blue dot indicates that on the day where you see the dot, there were some new releases performed on some of the Maven artifacts, which are currently registered in JAPO. We have an internal JAPO process that runs daily and connect to the Maven central repository to pull any new releases of each one of the artifacts which we have in JAPO. What we are seeing here is that on May 6, 2024, JSON annotations and JSON databyte had some update, new releases actually. And to see what those are, you only have to click on each one of them, where you will then see the details of those updates. So here the new version is 217.1 and the previous one was 217.0, and you can also see that the release dates have been updated as well. Now on the right side here you have an empty section, but what this section is supposed to be is the list of all annotations updates, in the sense that if one of the existing annotations from the previous version changed in some ways, even if those were new methods being added to it and all that, we are expecting to see those details here. The only thing here is that we don't have an automated way to get all these changes and display them automatically. These will have to be provided manually, either by us or by JAPO users, actually you the users. We're gonna talk more about that. Now, here on the same form, you can see on the left section here at the bottom, we have a form that allows you to post or to suggest an annotation update which you found out about, or which, in case you are the annotation creator, this is something you know about, so you can come here and then inform us about that. And after we review that submission or that suggestion and validate it, that's when it will show up here. Now, from this month, we have a few updates, but for each one of them, for none of them, you won't see any sort of annotations update, only the artifact update. But we took the time to go back in the past, sometime in the past, to add updates that we perform on our own library. So let's go. If I remember well, I think the latest change from one of our open source library was in July of 2022. So here you can see that on July 16 of 2022, we have two dots, one blue dot and one orange dot. The blue dot indicating the artifact update, which is in this case GZL library, and the orange dot indicating that there were a few annotations update. In this case, there were 3, as you can see, indicated by this number here. Now, when you take a look at the same model window we saw before, you will see that not only we have the artifact changes here, but we now have also the annotations update which were posted for that specific version of GZL at the time. And if you attempt to go backward, I think back in March of 2022, we also had an update regarding our other open source library, which is FropoRec, where when we moved from version 1.2 to 1.3, we added a few new annotations here, like the super record one and few others. Now, all these updates you just saw now can be viewed directly on the page as you just saw now, but you can also choose to receive those updates directly in your mailbox simply by subscribing here, by entering your email address and then pushing the button. Once that's done, you should be receiving a confirmation. You should be receiving a mail asking you to confirm your subscription, something really similar to what you are looking at here. So all you will have to do is to click on the confirm button, and then from that moment you will be receiving daily updates of artifacts and annotations, if there are any, of course. Now I'm going to show you a few examples of those mails. Here we have an example of artifact release update notification, the one that occurred on May 3rd. And you can see there was a Jakarta RESTful WS API that was updated on that day. We have a few others here where you have Hibernate, Core, Inverse, and Testing, which were all updated on May 4th. And few others here. And here I also have a few examples of, here you have a few samples of annotations update notification. Here we have a notification of changes coming from FropoRec 1.3, where we indicate that we added the new annotations in that version of FropoRec. So this is how the email will be looking like. Now, that's it about the new features introduced in this version regarding the updates and the subscription mechanism. Now, we still have the same endpoints we used to have, talking about the search endpoint, the start endpoint, and the submission endpoint. I'll quickly start with the submission endpoint, where we did a minor update by adding an additional field that was not there before. Why we are adding this is because we really want to favor the annotations creators, those who create annotations, package them inside the library, and then publish them to either Maven Central Repository or any other repository. So these ones should be able to provide us also with the repository URL where they publish their artifact, and also indicate to us the group ID, artifact ID, along with either a list of all of the annotations or just the package names where we can find them, so that we can add them properly to our system, to JAPO. Now, if we go back up here, now regarding the search endpoint, the search endpoint didn't change much. It remained just the same. Okay. The only difference here on the page being that you will have, okay, let's say we are looking for the builder annotation like we did in the latest video. Here you will see that now the search result, which is normally paginated, will be displayed here. Only the first page of the search result will be displayed here. While if you need to move from one page to another, you will just go back to what you used to do in the previous version of JAPO, which is once you click here, that will open a new page where you will access the subsequent pages and then keep navigating from there. Of course, you will need to have a JSON plugin for your browser if you want to take advantage of the links being displayed like this and be able to navigate easily. Same thing with the other links you will see there. For example, the links to view the details of annotations like this, for example. So that's basically what happened with the search and also start endpoint. With the start endpoint, you can now, instead of just using the drop down, you can also click on any of the start here, and then the drop down will automatically switch to the one you clicked on and then show you the search result for this. So same thing here, for example, for the last updated artifacts and the 11 built-in Java annotations and so on. You can just play with them, and yeah. So this is basically what the new page of JAPO looks like at this moment. So you just saw what we consider to be the first phase in developing a user-friendly web page for JAPO. Our goal is to help you, the Java developers, not only make good use of JAPO, but also feel comfortable using it. Your feedback will be crucial in improving that user interface to better suit your needs. Because it is important to us to involve you from the early stages, we are also planning some changes soon, which will allow you to have a personal JAPO account, and from where you will be able to do many more stuff, such as exchanging code with other programmers, sharing useful links or technical information regarding annotations, and participating in discussions not only with fellow Java developers, but also with AI, artificial intelligence. Now, before the users community features are added and made publicly available one of these days, we can already give you a quick description of what we identified so far as possible groups of JAPO users. We identified 3 groups. The very first group will be what we simply consider typical users. These are the ones who will simply make use of JAPO, whether through the web page or calling the REST API directly and taking advantage of all features being offered. Now, Among these typical users, there are some Java developers who also create their own annotations. The majority of these annotations creators are developers who contribute to the very popular open source Java libraries, which we just saw on one of the previous slides in this video. Whether these are developers from organizations such as VMware for Spring Framework or Red Hat for Hibernate, or even if these come from individual Java developers, we would like you, the annotations creators, to start making JAPO as part of your release workflow. How will that be possible? Well, we just saw that JAPO offers one endpoint to allow submitting new Maven artifacts along with the annotations which belong to them. And another endpoint where you can also submit updates regarding changes brought to existing annotations, or also when brand new annotations are introduced in a new release version of your artifact. Now, these two JAPO features being available as REST endpoints, you can just simply call them and provide all of your updates each time you complete your new release publishing process. And then after the publishing is done to JAPO, that's where the third group of JAPO users come up to manually review these submissions. And once validated, your new data will end up inside JAPO database. For now, this third group, which you see here as JAPO admins, is very limited, but we are also considering welcoming more members from outside our organization sometime in the future. All it takes for you to be able to review submissions and validate them is to simply be a Java developer with some minimal coding experience. We will provide more details regarding the JAPO users community once we are ready. Thank you for watching. Head to JAPO webpage, make use of it, and send us your comments, questions, inquiry of any kind. We are always available to answer. And of course, there will be more good news coming regarding JAPO, so stay tuned. Thanks again for watching, and bye.